Okay, cool. We can both be heard.
Yay!
All right.
Good.
So we have four viewers, five viewers. I don't know.
Hi.
Hello, welcome. So very, very excited today. We're doing a little special edition where we are doing a session zero and some character generation and building. So
Yes.
can you introduce yourself? And
Yeah, I'm Rachel. I have never played tabletop games before. I have always wanted to. I've always been in the right circles of nerdiness and geekiness, but it just somehow never happened for me. And I met Meg at PAX, and I'm very excited that she has roped me in on a little D&D. So I'm excited, and I know nothing about it. So forgive my lack of knowledge, please. I I tried. I read some stuff this week, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's so much information."
it can
But
feel overwhelming. Don't worry, there's a lot,
yeah,
but you don't need to know a lot.
okay.
You already
There's a lot.
yeah. Well, because you play you do a lot of video game research, right? You've done video game computer based role playing games before.
I have, and they're my favorite of all the video games. Role playing games have always been my favorite. I've played them since childhood,
Awesome.
so
So
I have at least some of that.
yeah, so there's going to be a lot of crossover from what you know and things already.
Good.
So what we'll do to get started, I want to go over some basic session zero questions. So before we realized we didn't have audio going out, which we fixed.
Right.
So, I was telling Rachel a little bit about what a session zero is, how it's done, and what we do for that. And so this is a session that you have before playing with somebody to make sure that you're going to be playing the kind of game that they will enjoy and want to be a part of. So generally, what are like your favorite games? Like, what have been the games that really speak to you and that you love playing, kind of no matter what?
Final Fantasy games,
Nice.
all of them, all of them. Zelda. I'm really into the role playing Dragon Quest, World of Warcraft. Those are the games I've probably played the most of.
And when you play those kind of games, what kind of characters do you tend to gravitate towards?
Well, I guess, in Final Fantasy, you get to do a little bit of everything. In World of Warcraft, I was definitely spellcaster healer.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to be my role. The druid was my first love, and then I moved into shaman, and I played that for a long time, like endgame shaman-y things,
Nice.
healing shaman. Yeah. So I guess like the ones that support and help the other teammates are the roles I tend to like.
Very cool. What are some of your favorite books or fantasy tropes?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Nice. Okay.
The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you like is it sort of like the heroic quest that you like, or do you like more of that kind of political intrigue and like lots of layers of things going on?
I like the lots of layers. I think it's more the heroic quest, the more of like banding together with a group of friends to overcome something bigger than yourself, that kind of.
Very cool. Sorry, I'm trying to put my thing down so it's not blocking.
Yeah.
I'm not used to. I have to be like right on top of the microphone, which is weird.
Yeah.
Awesome. So one of the things to try to keep in mind, I think you started watching one of our episodes of Clinical Roles, so you're kind of getting an idea of
yes.
what. One of the things I want to make sure though is like not to be hitting on topics or things that people don't like. Are there any particular no-go topics for you, or things that you just don't want to see in a game at all?
I mean, I don't know. Not that I can think of. There's nothing like immediately that pops into my head that I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the latest episode, so I don't know.
Yeah,
there might be something, but I think everything is pretty open.
Cool. And one thing that my players know is like if anything comes up, we've just kind of gotten this term where we say just fade to black.
Okay.
It's getting to be too much stuff going on. Just
okay.
We fade to black. No questions asked. We'll do that.
Okay.
Other stuff to ask you. Let me see. Well, I'll probably think of some things. Generally speaking, how I like to pitch the game is this is a game we're playing for fun. Yes, we're all a bunch of therapists and psychologists and stuff, but we're not necessarily like trying to hit on deep emotional themes. But that being said, we do tend to. It's more of an emotionally driven game for that. I've shared this with my regular players, but one of the things that I do is I actually have an emotional goal for each of the characters to hit each game. And I will say, I checked in with my characters last time, and I was spot on with 100%. I asked them, I was like, "What did your character get out of the last game? Like, what was the moral of the story?" And they told it to me, and I was like, I sent them a screen capture of it because I was the exact wording and phrasing was what I had for that character. So
that's awesome.
It's fun. I'm not usually that good, but that's So okay, let's move in now to a little bit then of character creation. So
okay,
I asked you to start maybe looking at the races, and I didn't realize this D&D again added more races from the Unearthed Arcana.
There's so
like
many,
over 30.
There's so many. I was like, I don't know.
It's a bit ridiculous, but it's also awesome. So with kind of peeking over the races, were there any that kind of spoke to you or that you were like definitely drawn towards, or some that you were like definitely not that one?
Well, again, I started, I know World of Warcraft, let's see, I know some of these races are similar, and I started looking at the elves, and the elves I felt like had too much backstory. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can, that's too much information. They have big, long paragraphs. And then I thought, well, human, right? Because I am a human, so maybe that. But I also really like mythical creatures, and I was drawn to the Jasani. The
Jasani are cool.
Yeah, they sounded pretty cool. And then I was like, we talked about this at PAX. It was like imposter syndrome. I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Maybe I should just be a human. Maybe I should do this. I don't know. So those are the ones I was drawn to initially.
Or I like, well, so it's usually pronounced, I've heard it was Genasi.
Oh, Genasi, yeah.
But I'm not one to,
yeah.
But I think
you're right. I did look it up, so I was like, how do you even pronounce it? Yeah, you're right.
No, if you were drawn to that, I think a Genasi would be awesome.
Okay.
So those who don't know, Genasi are the children of a djinn of one of the elemental planes and an immortal being. Doesn't have to be a human. We usually just say human because, well, humans do
easier,
things, right?
Yeah.
But it can be any. Did you have a particular element that you were immediately drawn to, or do we want to muck around and see?
We can muck around.
Okay. All right.
So go on.
Oh, no. I was just saying, so we're looking at Janus, so, we've just got earth, fire, wind, or water.
Yes.
We do not have heart, so we cannot summon Captain Planet with a Janus.
I know,
right? I think that's cool. Now, I think I saw on Twitter, you were thinking Druid?
It has to be Druid.
Awesome.
It has to be Druid, yeah.
Yeah, now, I will say, Bairden's also a Druid, but I have absolutely no problem with people crossing over.
Okay.
And being two, or having two. So let's start to build a character. So I'm using D&D Beyond because it's an amazing resource and it's what I like. I need to move this over so I can see chat, as chat is asking questions and things. So tell me a little bit, as you were thinking about this character, how do you see them having grown up?
Well, so I wasn't sure exactly. So I was just thinking okay, I'm going to have to make a story. How much of the story do I need to imagine? So I was thinking about the water genasi.
Oh, cool.
And maybe I read in the backstory that they could be born of two humans if there's some kind of cosmic something that happens, and then some are born. So and they tend to be from islands. So I was like, okay, maybe she's from an island. Maybe she was born of a couple humans, and they didn't know what to do with her. It's what is this elemental being? And then because I started looking, because I didn't realize how many choices there were. So then I started looking at background. I was like, oh gosh, there's lots of backgrounds too. And then I saw that there was sailor, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Maybe I was from an island and they didn't know what to do with me. And then I was on a ship.
So you took to the oceans. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. You like that? Well, because the water ones, they're supposed to be all about the water and want to be by the water and stuff. Yeah. So that seemed to make sense.
All right. So we've got a water genasi druid. And you were thinking of doing the sailor background?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. And so there's all kinds of like proficiency. Well,
I didn't even look at that because then I stopped. Okay. Then I stopped looking.
No, because this is the fun part too with people who are building their first character and kind of learning about it is like and my idea as a dungeon master is to be able to walk you through that and kind of help you pick out the things that make the most sense for your character.
Right. Oh, okay.
Now, in Clinical Role, they are currently level 6. I have one of our guests is a level 5, but I want to actually start you off a lot lower.
Okay.
And there's reasons for that. I'm not trying to make you underpowered.
Okay.
The higher level you get, the more abilities you have and the more choices you make. Particularly at level 2 for the druids, and then level 4 is when you start really specializing your character in different ways.
Okay.
And I'm a person who I like to play my characters for a little while to kind of get to know them and be in their skin a little bit and kind of understand how they operate in the world before making a bunch of those decisions.
Right. That makes sense.
So what I think we'll do for you is do a level 2 character.
Okay.
So we will have to make one of the early choices on like what type of druid you're going to be.
Okay.
And then, but then we don't have to worry about anything else. I'm gonna have you come on and play a game or two before we jump into the main story.
Yeah.
And
okay.
We'll level you
that
up
sounds good.
quite a bit.
Right. Okay, good.
So you're not gonna jump in and be like completely under everybody, but it give you a couple, a game or two to kind of get to know this character a bit.
Right.
All right. Cool. Do you have a name in mind?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just gonna leave it as Rachel's character for right now.
Okay.
All right. So we're doing a druid. So actually, let's talk about the circle that you would be. So with druids, you have different circles that you basically, it's like the different types of druids that you can be. I'm going to open up a window here. And they show us, I'm trying to talk and click through things on my computer and it doesn't work at the same time. Oh, someone knows things about water genocity. They're saying that they have cool naming principles. I don't even know the cool naming. Please, casual nerdiness, inform us of the naming principles of water genocity.
Yes.
I have to read on that because this is I've had earth and fire genocity in my campaigns before, but not a water. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, so it's basically the type of druid that you are. So Baradin's Circle of the Moon, which means he focuses a lot on transforming into different animals.
Okay.
There's the Circle of the Land, which there's the different types of land, and ocean would be one of them.
Okay.
Where you gain more spells based upon what land formation you do. There's also Circle of Dreams, Circle of Spores, and Circle of the Shepherd. I'd have to read these really quickly. So the Circle of Dreams has a lot to do with the Feywild, so the land of fairies.
Okay.
That's more, let's see. Yes, this would be more, if you're wanting to go kind of more whimsical, that's, on a quick look, that's what the Circle of Dreams is all about.
That's appealing.
Yeah, the Circle of Spores is... Well, this is basically where you're drawing power from, like, mushrooms and funguses and things.
Okay. Maybe not that one.
Yeah. Then Circle of the Land, you choose which form of land. So there's Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, underdark. I think you probably would choose coast.
Yeah.
So you get Misty Step. That's a really handy spell.
Ooh.
Misty Step, it lets you basically turn your body into an incorporeal mist where you can pass through things like keyholes.
Well, that sounds cool.
It's cool as that. It's very handy. Like, you can only move yourself, but like, as long as you can see through a gap in something, you can go there.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Which is really cool. Oh, okay, so Genasi named themselves after the element they're born to. So water Genasi might be river, raindrop, or tide.
Oh, cool.
That'd be cool. Circle of the Moon, as I said, that one's focused on beast shape, so turning into more powerful animals.
Okay.
So that's if you're wanting to fight a little bit more. And then Circle of the Shepherd is pretty cool. That one is you choose a spirit totem, and you can call upon the power of that totem to help your party out, help the people around you out. So there are different types of guardians. There's bear, hawk, and unicorn spirit.
What?
Yeah.
Unicorn spirit? That's crazy.
What do they get? They get, so your allies gain advantage on all their ability checks. In addition, if you cast a spell using a slot that restores hit points to any creature in or out of the aura, each creature of your choice in the aura also gets hit. Wow. Okay, so that's a healer one, which is pretty cool.
I mean, I think if I had to specialize between like fighting or healing, I would rather be more healing.
Be more of the healing
type.
So
Yeah.
a shepherd circle would make sense then, because that one is more about taking care of the party.
Okay.
And being aware of the people around you. Let's see, what else do you get with this one? This is me reading on stream, which is fascinating. Everybody watching. Oh, this is fairly, so it's a lot about summoning and the different types of animals that you can summon. So when you get to the 6th level, beasts and fae that you conjure, because that's one of the things you can do as a druid, is you can conjure different animals to come help protect you. They have more hit points, which is nice. So that means they can take more damage and do more. And and it becomes basically a magic attack. As a bonus action, you can magically summon an incorporeal spirit that you can see. Spirit creates an aura, 30 radius of edge, bonus action 6 feet. Okay, so this is your totem that you can summon. Oh, you don't even have to pick. So you can actually change your spirit depending on what you want to do. You have bear, hawk, or unicorn. So bear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not that you have to pick one. You just, when you decide to summon your spirit totem, you pick which one you would do. So the bear.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Gives you and your allies more endurance. So if you guys are knowing that you're going into a really bad fight,
right,
that could be something. You gain temporary hit points that are equal to 5 plus the level that you are as a druid. Which is pretty cool. The hawk is the hunter. And so when you guys are trying to find things, and you have advantage on wisdom checks, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting to be a healer, we can. And here's something too that I'll say, especially since it's your first character, your first time playing. If you don't like any of the choices or it's not fun to you, just let me know and we'll change it.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. I don't want you to feel like, but I chose this and now I'm stuck with. No. Like the point of playing this game is for it to be fun, and if you're not having fun, then we've missed the point.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's go back here. Oh, you get perception from being a sailor. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go in and choose your druid's circle that we're going to do, the Circle of the Shepherd. Okay. So what I'm going to start doing now is choosing your proficiencies and things.
Okay.
So this is basically the skills that your druid character would have. So tell me a little bit, him or her, or not
her?
Her. Okay. What kinds of things do you think she's good at? Like, how do you imagine she grew up and saw the world and the things that she would spend time gaining skills in?
Well, she traveled a lot, right? Because she was a sailor. So I imagine she'd be good at maybe navigating or fishing. Yeah. Trying to think what are good sailor skills.
I have survival down as one, so I think that would make sense.
Oh, like survival.
Tracking, knowing you're having a good sense of direction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Would she be social or would she be more recluse from others?
Maybe more recluse. Because if she's like was sent away because she was different, maybe she's not so open to other people. So
let's see. So insight probably would not be. What about just nature and kind of understanding how the natural order of things?
Yeah.
And,
As a druid, right? Druids are all about,
yeah,
I imagine she's like full on tree hugging, loving nature.
that's awesome. Do we need to pick anything? Nope. All right. And so now we get to do the fun part, which is giving you your abilities. So there's when you get your abilities in D&D, there's different ways that you can do it. You can roll dice. Typically, it's you roll 4d6s, you take away the lowest, and you do that 6 times, and then you put those scores wherever they fit. Some people do that in order. I think that's a little bit of fun, but it's also I think you have to know what you're doing a little bit when you do that. There's the point buy system, which is what is used in Adventures League, where you get a certain number of points and you can up and down your scores. And then there is the standard spread, which is in the player's handbook. I do a standard spread plus.
Okay.
So it's a standard set of scores, but they're slightly higher than what is in the handbook, and they also are more focused on odd numbers.
Okay.
And now the reason for that is there's a lot of feats, and so on levels 4, 8, 12, 16, and then I think 18, you have the option of either improving one of your ability scores by 1 or 2 points or taking a feat. And so some of these feats include things like observant, keen mind, different things. So they give you different skills.
Right.
A lot of them will give you 1 point in something.
Right.
So
okay.
Up your intelligence by 1 point or whatever. The score. So it's in D&D. It's a little funny. You get this large number, and then it's basically converted into a Z score.
Oh, okay. We're talking psychologist now.
Psychology
okay.
talk,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's essentially translated into a Z score, but that Z score number only changes on the evens. So for a 10, it's 0. And then 12, it's 1, to 14, 2, and so on.
I see.
So when you end up with a lot of even scores, like you don't really want to take the feats as much because it only ups your scores by 1, which doesn't change your overall score.
Right.
But if you have a lot of odd numbers, and it's like, and I have a 15 in intelligence, and then if I get this +1, then I'll get my 16, and that gives me more abilities and powers and things like that.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Sounds more fun to me. I don't even know anything.
So the numbers are 16, 15, wait, I gotta remember now. 16, 15, I know we have 9 as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat on Twitch just for people to see it here. 15, 13. So those are the numbers. So 16, 15, 13, 12, 11, 9. So in D&D, it's thought that 10 is average. And so because you're a hero, you should be a little bit above average.
Okay.
And we want to put those scores places. So what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of help you put at least your high scores in the places that are going to be the most useful for you as a druid.
Right. Okay.
Which for a druid, that's wisdom, because that's your spellcasting ability.
Oh, right. Okay.
And you want that to be very high.
Right.
So, in D&D terms, wisdom is your street smarts. Intelligence is your book smarts. Wisdom is your street smarts.
Okay.
To say, intelligence is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Oh, you get a +2 bonus to Constitution from being a Genasi, which is awesome. So Constitution is what makes your hit points go up.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that's something you also generally want to be very high.
Right.
That would be a 15 there. I would recommend putting your next highest score, your 15, into your dexterity.
Okay.
You
Which
probably
influences?
the thought behind that is the weapons that druids use are based on dexterity. They tend to be slings,
Oh,
bows, staffs, things like that.
right,
And so you want to be able to hit harder and use those more
right,
proficiently.
right,
And then I would recommend putting the next one down, the 13, into your constitution, which will bump your constitution up to a 15.
right. Okay,
Um,
that's good.
and so that will give you lots of hit points
Right,
because,
because I don't want to die.
yeah, we don't want you dying.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Um, now we get to pick the 3 lowest.
All right.
All right, so what's left is strength, intelligence, and charisma. So strength obviously is how strong you are. Intelligence is your book smarts. Then charisma is how good you are with people.
Right.
Generally, I find it's easiest to go, which one do you want to be the lowest? Which one do you not want to be
strength.
good? Strength?
Strength. Yeah.
Right.
Because I'll be a spellcaster primarily. So I think that strength is less important.
All right. And then charisma or intelligence to be higher?
Intelligence, I think.
Intelligence. All right. So that will be your 12.
Can just be really socially awkward.
Yeah. Well, your charisma is basically your modifier is a 0, so you're average.
Okay.
So you're not socially inept.
Right.
You're going to be average. All right, so we got the sailor background. Nothing else we need to add there. All right. So with your character and fighting,
yes,
how would you see her defending herself and taking care of herself and all of that kind of stuff?
Spellcasting.
So,
yeah.
Do you think she would have a shield at all, or do you think she would just have some form of weapon?
Yeah, maybe just some form of weapon.
Okay. So we have a whole bunch of different options on here.
Okay.
Boomerang is one.
That's hilarious. Okay, I might have to go with boomerang because it's hilarious, but what else is there?
So we got boomerang, club, a light crossbow, daggers, darts, great club. Which sounds like a club sandwich.
Yeah.
Hand axe, javelin, a light hammer, mace, quarterstaff, short bow, sickle, sling, spear, and I cannot pronounce this last one. It's YKLWA.
Well, since we don't know what that is, I'm gonna might have to pass on that one. I mean, I would tend to say staff, but since she was on a boat, maybe boomerang.
I think so. Actually, casual nerdiness who's watching right now says like a coastal druid would totally use a boomerang.
Right. I mean, I feel like it fits.
It does. And we can give you something else too.
Okay. I'll be a little. I mean, I'm not sure how well you can defend yourself with boomerang.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
I'm gonna give you a quarterstaff as well, if that's okay.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. It's more traditional druid.
That's a kind of good druidy thing. So what would your druid use for their spellcasting focus? So this is their thing that they use to consolidate their magic and cast their spells out of.
What would be an example?
So this could be a druid character I play. She has some jade beads in her hair. And those are her focus.
That's cool. Okay.
Other ones, it could be like just a staff or a special like dried flower or stone or coastal seashell.
Could it be something like could it be like a necklace, like a seashell necklace?
Type necklace? I like it.
Yeah.
Just adding some stuff onto your character here. Now, I don't know if I can share my DnD Beyond character with you. I'll figure it out. We'll get this sorted.
Screenshot it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's all done. View this character sheet. All right. So level 2. We've got. Oh, I didn't realize this. Water genasi are resistant to acid. That's kind of handy.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a lot of cool little like passive things in there. It was like they can breathe underwater. They can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of cool stuff. Okay. So you've got 17 hit points right now at level 2.
Okay.
Um, oh, and we didn't pick out your cantrips. Let's go ahead and do that. Did you look up magic and how magic works in D&D at all, or?
Oh.
No worries. All right. So,
Okay.
basically, it's you have a certain basically you have a mana pool, and you cast spells out of your mana pool, and they have different casting costs depending on how powerful they are. The way it's limited in D&D, it's you have certain slots of different levels. And so the higher level, the fewer slots typically you have. So like at level 2, you're only going to have level 1 slots, and those are a finite resource. I think you only have 3 at level 1, or level 1 and 2. Which
3 different spells.
3 different slots. So this is 3 slots. Basically, your mana pool allows you to cast 3 level 1 spells.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Before you have to sleep and rest.
Right. Okay. Right.
When you get to level 2, then you gain, or level 3, you gain, I think, 1 or 2 second level slots. I'd have to look at the chart.
Right. Okay.
But basically, as you go up in level, you gain more magical ability. Now, one of the things is you can always cast a lower level higher, but you can't add up lower level slots to cast a higher level spell.
Right.
So, like, if you're out of 3s, you can't say, well, I'm going to expend a 1 and a 2 to cast a 3. No, that's not how it works.
Right.
But one of the things you do get as well are cantrips. And cantrips are level 0 spells, so they don't tap into your mana at all. And you can just keep casting them as often as you want to.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
You're going to get at level 2, you know 2.
Okay.
Generally speaking, with cantrips, you want to have 1 cantrip that deals damage of some kind.
Right.
That way, when you're out of spells, you can still protect yourself.
Right.
It's not really worth having 2 damage-dealing cantrips just because, for the most part, they do the same damage.
Okay.
Across the board.
Right.
So, let's... do you have a way to pull up D&D Beyond for yourself? Yeah. Let's look at this together.
Let's do it. All right. Let's
start picking these out.
All right. Let me change my race. I was messing around with all these different things. Water. All right. So where do I find this? Abilities, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, so if you go to actually class, go into your edit your character, and you have class features and then spells.
Spell casting first level. Yeah.
Yep. And then you click known spells.
Duh.
And then if you hit filter spells by, and then click the 0 there.
I don't see the same thing as you. I see proficiencies. Do I have to pick those first? No.
Oh, no. Okay. So what you're in is your class features. So see how it says Druid?
Oh, yes. Yep. I see that. Known spells. Okay. Yep. Okay. Spell level 0.
Yeah.
Okay. So these. Oh, there's a lot.
Yes. Okay. So one that I will recommend for you that I think would be really helpful, and it might count as your damage dealing cantrip, would be the Shillelagh one.
Okay, Shillelagh.
So what you get to do, and I would allow you to cast this into your boomerang as well, since it's going to be made of wood.
Oh, okay.
Is you get to use your spell casting ability as the damage instead of whatever
your strength
or dexterity.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
It does extra damage, and it also lets you use your spell casting ability to make it so you can hit. So when you are going to hit, you roll your d20, and then you add your proficiency, which at level 2 is 2, and then whatever stat is tied to that. So it's usually either dexterity or strength for an attack.
Okay.
But when you cast Shillelagh, you get to add your wisdom instead.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That sounds like a good one. Yeah.
So I like that. And now comes the fun part where you get to pick your kind of utility, just kind of fun cantrip.
Okay.
So let me see. This one I always love Mold Earth, but I like to play Earth-based druids.
Well, all druids come from the earth.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me see. I think is it control water or something?
Shape water.
Shape water.
It's probably the same. Is it maybe the same thing but with water?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Is there always water around, or is that totally useless?
No, there can be water around. It's
Okay.
you can freeze water, so like you can turn water into ice.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that fits with like the sailor, the water.
More cantrips as you gain in levels. Let me just see something. Cantrips known. Yeah, ultimately you'll get up to 4 once you reach 10th level.
Okay.
Actually, when you get to the 4th level, you learn a 3rd cantrip anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, and again, and I am not a GM who says you are stuck with the cantrips you pick no matter what. Like, if you don't like them, then
you can change them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go with the shape water then.
Shape
That
water?
seems to fit with her story.
I think so. Now, a cool thing with so for druids and clerics, they just know every spell available to them. And so what it is every day they have to spend time in meditation and they prepare a certain number of spells.
Mm. Oh, I see.
And so the number of spells you get to prepare is your wisdom modifier, which I think is 3, plus your druid level. So right now you can prepare any of your 5 spells that you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Every day. And we'll figure that out, how you want to track that and what you want to do with that.
Okay.
You might also want to talk to Adam and just see how he manages to keep track of that and what he does.
Right. Okay.
With it. I do have a rule that I use in my games where by the rules as written, you're supposed to meditate in the morning and choose your spells in the morning after you finish a long rest to decide which spells you know that day.
Mm-hmm.
I let you carry over the spells you knew from the day before. And then if you hit a point later in the day where you're like, I wish I had prepared this spell today.
Right.
You can spend the time in meditation to change out your spells, but you can only do that once a day. And you can't do it mid-combat because you have to spend a minute in meditation per spell level.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if you're trying to get a 3rd level spell, you have to spend 3 minutes meditating.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
And you can't do that in the middle of a fight.
No. Excuse me, guys. I just have to go.
Let me just
sit in silence. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You can concentrate on some water. Okay, cool. So I think our character. Did you get any inspiration for a name while doing all of this?
No, I think it should be an ocean name though. Didn't they have an ocean? Because she's from the ocean. Maybe
Let's go to Word Hippo. My favorite naming device.
Yeah. Oceany names.
So we can translate. Oh no, I want to translate from English to. I always go for Polynesian stuff with ocean because I lived in Hawaii for several years.
I wondered why your name was Aloha.
Yeah, I lived in Hawaii for a while and loved it there.
Nice.
Open, it's thinking.
Never been to Hawaii.
Well, of course, the Maori word for ocean is moana.
Oh, hey.
Right now.
Yeah, it's a little Disney, but nice.
Let's see. Do you have a favorite culture?
Japanese.
All right, let's see.
Might be something I can't pronounce.
It might be.
There's a problem with that. Yeah.
Sometimes it just fills it in the alphabet of the language and doesn't have any English translation for how to say it. So
yeah, then you're in trouble.
Well, there's a few cool ones. Okay.
Okay.
Kaiyo. I assume that's Ko. Kaiyo.
Don't know.
That's
Kaio, maybe.
Kaiyo. Oumi. Umi.
Yumi.
Or basically like okay. I.
Okay.
Okay.
or Oki.
Oki.
I'm
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Ooh, Enkai. Enkai is deep sea.
Enkai? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's easy to say. I'm going with easy to pronounce.
Easy pronounce is
Enkai?
always good. I had this
Yeah.
problem. I named a bunch of dwarves and I gave them unpronounceable names.
Yeah. Then you have to say it all the time.
Yeah. When you're reading, it's not such a big deal.
Yeah.
When
You're talking. Yeah.
and trying to tell a story, and you're like, and then you meet. I don't know how to pronounce the name I chose for this NPC. Hold on, let me rename him real quick.
That's so funny.
I kind of like Enkai. That's cool. But
I do too.
All right, let's do that. And again, always
Let's do Enkai. Yeah, and it's deep sea. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Now let's be the character. All right, cool. So things are shaping up for her. So she basically was kind of what you're seeing for her past was she was sort of pushed out of her home because her sort of this greenish tinge skin child.
Yeah.
Always like playing in the water, and part of the water could breathe underwater, kind of freaked them out, and they were like,
Yeah.
Just didn't
Not
feel
so
like
much.
she belonged.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean I'm sure her parents like loved her, but they didn't really know what to do with her. And so they were on an island and there were always boats coming through. So they thought maybe she can find more of her kind somewhere else.
All right. So she's sort of on this quest to find other Genasi and to understand where she came from.
Right.
Oh, I like that. All right. So where things are in the campaign right now, they are landlocked currently.
Okay.
So what might be a reason that she would get off the boat and start wandering?
Well, I mean, I know that as a Genasi, she like loves the water, but also, you know, she's been sailing and she's been on the water and she hasn't found any other Genasi. And so maybe they're on the land, maybe they're not on the water. She hasn't found any yet. So just seeking other people.
Seeking other people. That would be cool. All right. I think I have an idea for her.
Okay.
All right. I have to pull up my maps because I can't remember the names of all the locations. That's not how my brain works. Oops, it's not on this page. It's over here. Too many screens on my computer. All right, so I'd say she was, she'd been traveling so she's from, would you say like a Pacific Island type region, or like what type of region would she have grown up? Okay.
Yeah, like a Pacific Island.
All right, so she's been sailing for how long do you think?
20 years.
20 years. Okay, so she's been out, very experienced
for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Has really given it her all to try to find other Genasi, and it's not been lucky.
Yeah.
While you were in, let's see, I want you in that port, actually, I think. All right. Your ship had made port in a city called Suncloud. That was the religious hub for Pelor. It was a god of the sun.
Oh, okay.
You'd noticed that things there were more tense than when you had been there in previous years. It was sounding like they were beating the drums of war, essentially. And armies were being risen. You saw large groups setting sail for different parts of the world. You heard mention of some peninsula area far to the south that was being plagued with a large amount of undead.
Mm.
You also, in some of the docks and some of the places that you went to, happened by people who were refugees and trying to escape. They had come to Suncloud mostly because it's one of the most southern ports that's easily accessible, and trying to get on ships just to get the heck
out. Right.
While there, you overheard mention of a group living in the Moonlit Mountains, a mixture of avian races. But it also said that there were some humans who were blue-skinned and said to be as light as air themselves. And you weren't given like specific instructions on exactly where to go, but you knew it was near the city of Jericho, up somewhere in the Moonlit Mountains. And so the next time your ship made port in Jericho, which it did not too long after, it's kind of along the coastal route that you would have traveled, you decided to part ways and to leave the ship and to go and to start exploring. You had seen these mountains before, large, very intimidating, this mountain range that just seemed to go on and on and on. And the only lead you had was to ask for these avian races. And so you eventually start to ask, and you're given basic directions of where to go, and you start climbing and climbing. And eventually do make your way to this small encampment of Aarakocra and Tsuri people. And I'm going to leave the story there.
No! What happened?
And when we stream a proper game,
okay,
and I'll make sure you have your character sheet and kind of know things about your character and stuff.
Yeah.
We will find out what she learns and what awaits her in the Moonlit Mountains, so that you can
something's there. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'll try to port that character over to you somehow.
Okay.
DnD Beyond, and if I can't, like, I'll just send you over the printout of it, and I can either walk you through, or you can. It's DnD Beyond's pretty darn easy to use it,
recreate it. It's awesome. Yeah.
And also, if you look through the equipment listing or anything, and there's any just kind of basic equipment you think your character would have or you would want, I got no problem with that. Well,
okay.
Like, you're not going to get 15 healing potions, but
Right. Yeah.
It's like, I want this legendary sword.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I heard there was this cool boomerang, and I just need it.
Yeah,
and I have to have it.
It decapitates everybody in its path.
Oh, I like that one.
But we'll kind of tweak some of that stuff, and then gonna try to get you on a game with Jack Birkenstock here, maybe this week or next week.
Yep.
And that way, you guys can start playing, and then hopefully in a few weeks, meet up with the main party and have some fun games.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat.
Thank you
for being here and being patient with our fun audio technical issues that we had. I'm looking forward to meeting this character more and getting to know her.
I know. Me too. Enkai. She's got a cool name. It's got to be good.
Yeah, that's a very cool name.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. I will see you later.